This is going to be a program that I'm starting for a whole year, and it's going to be something that is for 11 months, combining the Hebrew months and the zodiac sun signs. And it's a beautiful way to weave the two worlds. And I have been working a lot with tulip healing work. My name is Avariela, and I started it in California. And the point of bringing these two worlds is really, really empowering for me. And we used to have a lot of new moon events at the Tulip Center in Jerusalem. So it's a way for me to combine the Kabbalistic part of the month, of the meaning of the month, into the regular Gregorian calendar, and also have that something that we can plant seeds for every moon or new moon mainly. And I will start with a meditation in a few minutes, and we will have also Gita Zohara speak about the astrology of 2021 and
mainly January
and the future. And we'll also do a meditation that is collective for all the sisters and brothers that is coming from the concept of this Hebrew month. So I guess I'll start with the actual information then, because we're already 10 minutes after 9. And hopefully we have time for questions and answers afterwards. So let's see. So again, the Hebrew months have an interesting way of starting on the new moon, which actually is parallel to the zodiac, and around 21st of every month, but sometimes it's from the 15th to the 21st or 22nd, that leeway. And so it has been a place of a lot of symbology and helpful people during many, many, many centuries. And we will start with the month that's called Shvat. And Shvat is actually, the root in Hebrew means Shevet, and that's the tribe. So it's very interesting to start the new year of the Gregorian calendar, 2021, with that Hebrew month, even though it's the 11th month in the Hebrew calendar, because it's actually inviting sisterhood and brotherhood together. It's creating a weaving that would be really empowering for us in these times, and that's what the reason I'm doing these events now. So beyond the Shevet, it's also not just the tribe, it's also to sit, and Shafta, to sit together, to co-create sisterhood, brotherhood. And that's my intention. With empowering of the each month's message, and also with the tulip blossom message. Not everybody knows that I wrote a book. It's called Tulip Lounge, and it has a lot of symbology and artwork, and I'll send the link of the website. And so it has the physical aspect of planting, but also has a spiritual aspect of planting what we want to create in our lives. So the new moon energy is exactly about that. And from Shvat to Nisan, which is, Shvat is Capricorn, Aquarius, till Taurus, we have the time where the bulbs are in the earth, and then we have the bloom in the spring. So we're going to start this year with a lot of working with the inner introspection work and the inner child work, and then slowly blooming into becoming a regal space within us, which is one of the things that we work in the workshops. And it's very interesting to notice that Nisan is called the house of kingship. So in a way, from this month, Shvat, which is the house of trees, and the Chag HaIlanot, the celebration of the trees, and the new year of the trees, we're going to bring in the meditation, the tree of life, and we're going to bring in the consciousness of how we can bloom into an empowered self and a regal self, like with the tulips in the spring. So that's something that we're going to work on in the workshop. In the meditation, work a lot also with the sap of the tree and how we can bring that into our lives each month. It's going to flow like the Torah has the symbol of water. It's going to flow like the Aquarius bucket of water up through the zodiac signs so that we can piggyback on that energy. So with Shvat, we have a few aspects that are really important to learn. And that's a Kabbalistic viewpoint, and it's eating healthy. And now in these times of pandemic, it's really, really important to do that. And bringing joy and happiness. And it's a spiritual inner growth and bringing more delight into our lives. And the rulers on the astrological point is Saturn and Uranus. So we have sort of the old ruler. Saturn's more the heavy ruler, and then we have the Uranus is going to bring change to the world. And Gita Zohara will talk about that this will be an opportunity for us to really shift 2021. We've had a rough year, so we've polished the jewels and all the gems, and now we're so in the unknown. Where are we going? So God willing, we will venture together each new moon to do this. And thank you for coming on board. We'll start with a little meditation. The actual workshops will be longer meditation, and there will be exercises that I'm is the meaning of this month, and work with that energy. And we will have sharings and the tip for the month that one kind of works on until we meet again. And it's 11 months, and I'll send you the link if you want to sign up, and the dates I can send them to in the chat. But for now, I want to really ground us into a meditation. And what's coming today during my tuning into what needs to happen, I've been feeling an olive tree wants to be planted. And it is the tree of the Ilanot, the year of the trees month in the Hebrew calendar. So if you want to envision another tree, bevakasha, please. It's definitely our own visions. It's just for me, because I'm now in Israel, in the Galilee, I feel like a big, big, big olive tree wants to come through and be planted. So with these saps and fruits, we will come out from the meditation, and then we will continue our session, and afterwards we'll have more sharings. And would you want to take some time to find a place that's comfortable wherever you are? Maybe close the light and feel the energy that is around your body, and close any ringing tones and just say, this is the time for you, nobody else. It's time for you to come home, to connect to the new year. And welcome. B'Shem Hashem Naseh v'Natzliach. Let's envision we'll have Michael to our right. We have Gabriel to our left, Raphael behind us, Uriel in front of us, Mother Earth holding us lovingly as a bosom of love, and Shechinat El, the Shekinah above us, creating a golden dome of protection. And then connect to your higher self, making a beeline straight to heaven. And your I am presence around 1 meter above you, your crown chakra, is connecting to your soul. And I assume most of you know about the chakra system, but if not, connecting to a higher source or an angel or to Hashem, divine connection. As you're also planting your feet straight on the floor, just relaxing into your beinghood. And put a hand on your heart, put a hand on your stomach. Just really breathe into yourself. Take a few deep breaths through the mouth, through the nose, and up through the mouth. בשם השם נעשה ונצליח, ישועות השם כהרף עין. And imagine this light coming straight down like a waterfall of clear, crystal, sharp, loving energy into your mind's eye and your skull, just opening your whole being. And your third eye is cleansed. Your crown chakra is seeping through your throat chakra down to your torso. Also can imagine the tree of life with the sfirot, the keter, chokhmah bina, the tree of Shvat, the tree of all tribes of all the spheres that we are connected to in our world, in our life, in our families, the right and left hemisphere. And then let that light come through the crown, filling the whole skull into your throat, into your torso again, and down your arms, and into your third chakra, to the diaphragm area, to your second chakra, down to your root, and through your legs into the floor and through the layers of the building you're in, into Mother Earth. And let her drink in all this waterfall of cleansed energy that you're letting go of, that we're letting go of. Clearing all the cells and the thoughts and all the nooks in our being that doesn't serve us anymore. Letting go of this 2020. And just releasing, relaxing, maybe shake your hands, your arms a bit. And as you're feeling that flow coming into the core of Mother Earth, you can see and feel her love for you, us, pulling all we don't need, like a gravity of love, pulling back what we don't want in our lives anymore. Becoming a clean vehicle, vessel to receive from anew, get stronger for 2021. And slowly let that wonderful earth energy come back through the layers, the aquifer layers, the magma, the rocks, back to the house we're in and through the soles of your feet. And feel the tickling Mother Earth in the soles. Let it come up through your legs, into your lower chakras. And your spine is getting stronger and straighter, to work with more the regal part of yourself, the one that is already a king and a queen, that can sit straight with the light of from above, with the earth energy from below. And slowly it's coming up to your heart chakra while it's meeting the cosmic rays and energies in your heart. And in our hearts, we're planting now a big, big tree for this year. A tree of love, a tree of connection, a tree of branches branching out to sisters and brothers. And in this garden, you have a few chambers. And in each chamber, you can plant a different seed, or for different loved ones in your life. A bulb or an actual tree plant. And see what needs to be grown this year. Make those roots come down the feet into Mother Earth. And slowly, slowly making it rise through your heart chakra up through the throat. If it's a tulip, then the stem will come forth. Or a tree into your skull and let it just bloom to unimaginable heights. Through all the different places in your being, bringing love and light. And you might want to reach up with your hands to feel what is the size of your bloom, your tree, your flower. And feel what fruits it may have, or nuts if it's a tree, or what kind of spheres on the tree of life. What kind of abundance does he want to share with the world? If it's an olive tree, it wants to bring peace to this area, to our world. And we're reaching out with our arms to our loved ones, families, wherever you are. And if there are peace doves above you, just reach out to them. And send them out as a message for peace in this world. And then feel, if you're a tree, the sap that wants to bring forth new life and flow out through the year to receive the gifts to come and the love to come. And slowly, as a group of us, we will connect our arms and hands visually and connect on this Mother Earth also to the stars above and to the zodiac and to the planets that has their own language. And constellations that are holding a space for us to shift this year. And as we're feeling this bloom, we're also feeling we can connect to our heart and the tenderness of our feelings while we're also sitting in this creation of our auras. The creation of the bloom to be. And holding these two places together. And then in the corners of our mouth, there's a little bit of a muscle that connects to our heart. So if you do a little bit of smiling and breathing into that, you can feel a bit of a joyous feeling. It's called the point in the heart, Nikuda Balev. That's connecting us straight to our source, our creator, who wants the best for us this very, very, very moment and for our future. Hashem Hashem naseh v'natzliach. Yeshua Hashem Kerufai. Bringing this love and light closer inside our mind's eye again. And expanding our consciousness, our regalness, our tenderness, our empowered self. And feeling like a clean lake in our mind of calm water, relaxing us into the next step. Maybe we can put our hands in front of us and receiving the gifts to come this year. Each month's challenges and each month's joy and gifts and fruits. And put it back in our hearts. Slowly appreciating what we have and who we are. Grounding into where we are and slowly coming back to the chair. Feeling our feet on the ground. Allow for ourselves and each other and for the work we do in the world. Thank you. Wow. Thank you for being here from Europe, from Israel, Czechoslovakia, Sweden, Florida, France, Yerushalayim, Galilee. May we see a lot of beauty this year. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you.
1 second. I have to get off.
So I'm going to present you. This is my friend and co-conspirator for the Sagittarius Sisterhood. And we're going to also today work with, in the memory of her mother. So we lit a candle. Today is her few years ago, her dear mother passed away, and her name was Ruth Batya Batrifka Leah, and the lesson will be in her name. Okay, I'll get off the share screen.
Okay. So thank you, dear sister, Sag Sister Eva. And I'll just also mention that the new moon of the Hebrew month of Shvat is the Yortzeit, the anniversary of the death of my beloved mother, Ruth Lederberger, Bat Rivka Leah. And so to honor the 5th anniversary of her passing, and in light of these challenging times of great change, that we are experiencing, I'm going to offer some astrological reflections on this potent new moon so you can utilize the energies that are on offer. So for those who don't know, the new moon occurs once a month when the sun and the moon meet in the sky, which we call a conjunction. Every month they meet in another constellation of the zodiac as the sun travels each month through a different sign in the zodiac wheel. So today, the sun and the moon are met a few hours ago at 23 degrees of the sign Capricorn. And they're also conjunct Pluto, which is at 24 degrees Capricorn, making this a very powerful new moon, as Pluto is the catalyst of transformation through destruction of what no longer serves us. This harks back to the energy of the Saturn-Pluto-Sun conjunction at 22 Capricorn exactly 1 year ago on January 12th of 2020, which set in motion the difficult yet transformative year of COVID-19 that brought us COVID-19, quarantine, shutdowns, economic crises, and a halt to the hectic consumer-oriented lifestyle that has driven our society for over a century. Capricorn is the sign associated with the structures of our lives, whether institutional or personal. It is ruled by the planet Saturn, who brings qualities of restriction and limitation and reminds us of our responsibilities, duty, commitments, and the needs for boundaries and self-control. In its higher octave, Saturn also represents maturity, patience, wisdom, and mastery. Now, when Saturn met Pluto last year, it sparked the dismantling of the old order, the destruction of our old habits, our old ways of viewing ourselves and society. Did anyone notice? This is reiterated in today's new moon, but now Saturn is in Aquarius, a sign with very different energies than Capricorn, where Saturn was last year. He entered Aquarius just a few weeks ago in mid-December for a 3-year stay, introducing to our lives and social fabric Aquarian qualities of freedom, rebellion, social justice, progressive and humanitarian ideals. Aquarius is an air sign, much lighter than the dense earth of Capricorn, and is associated with advancements in technology and science, aviation, and space travel. It relates to originality and individuality, yet also to group and communal activity, together with a powerful square aspect that Saturn will have with the planet Uranus, the Lord of Change and the modern ruler of Aquarius, for all of 2021 and into 2022. This brings the promise of powerful institutional and societal change, building on the Saturn-Pluto conjunction of 2020, which initiated the breakdown of existing structures and the transformation of the world as we know it. The Saturn-Uranus square first made a brief appearance in the spring of 2020, when we had the burst of social protests, the Black Lives Matter movements, and I think people were protesting wearing masks in America. And with Jupiter also traveling through Aquarius for most of this year, there is strong support for more Aquarian energy this year. At the new moon today, Mercury joins Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius, and they all square Mars and Uranus in Taurus, which is change and disruption to the status quo. This emphasizes our radically changing landscape. At the new moon phase, we sow seeds for the month ahead, and it is a great time to set intentions for what you want to grow this month in alignment with the astrological energies. This month, we can align with Capricorn's ambitions to build a better future for ourselves and our society. And with its proximity to Pluto, the only way our seeds can grow is if we embrace Pluto and its mandate for profound change. Pluto demands we look deeply within, into the shadow realms of society and of our own personalities, into the hidden places where our insecurities and drive for power lie, before we can bring the change that Uranus and the planets in Aquarius are demanding of us. Whether it is corruption, inequality, and racism in America, or our own personal demons, this new moon demands we face our shadows before moving into the light. Do we use our power for our own aggrandizement, to serve narrow partisan aims, Or do we use it to unite and empower others? What are the structures in our lives that we want to change? What old stories or habits are we willing to let go of so we can create a new future? I really suggest you ponder these things and bring it into your consciousness on a personal and on a collective level. Today, Mars, the warrior, is conjunct Uranus, the rebel, and in square, and they're both in square to Saturn, which represents authority, Jupiter, beliefs, and Mercury, communication. We will most likely experience tension this month between authorities and warring rebels. You may experience this within your own psyche by wanting to break out of your established routine and restrictions in your life. Saturn, Capricorn, often sees things in black and white. This Capricorn new moon conjunct Pluto, the destroyer, can pit those with opposing beliefs against each other. Stand firm in your truth, but act responsibly. Saturn in Aquarius urges us to recognize and honor one another's human rights and to create a culture of dignity for all. Uranus stations direct after the day after the new moon, which means that it is moving forward after 5 months of retrograde motion. We can expect more shocks to the system as Uranus becomes very powerful when he turns to move direct. Uranus will be prominent for the entire year, as we noted earlier. He will square Jupiter from the 14th of January, that's tomorrow, to the 22nd of January, which will bring an expansion of the forces of disruption, a surge for freedom and revolution, and a push to break with the past and create alternative visions for the future. A month later, Saturn, the planet of tradition and order, begins its series of squares to Uranus, as we said, the planet of revolution, on February 17th, June 14th, and December 24th. One astrologer that I follow wrote, these are potent aspects for comeuppance. I don't know if I can say here, I hope Trump goes to jail. Okay, and for buckling down to work. Think seriously about your relationship to your community. Take action that accords with your vision. Another important aspect of the new moon is the planet Neptune exactly squaring the moon's nodes, which indicates that there are secrets, illusions, lies, and deception to deal with. This harks back to the powerful Jupiter-Neptune square that dominated 2019 and brought with it a proliferation of conspiracy theories and disinformation running rampant through media and social media outlets. Venus is also squaring Chiron, which reminds us that this is all part of a healing process. As Venus moves into a supportive aspect to Uranus, our eyes are open to what we truly value and to the relationships that feel right. Venus is also associated with personal values, and in a month of tension and unpredictability, this aspect helps us identify what are our core values and to adhere to them. Finally, this is both the first new moon of the year and the first to occur since the pivotal Jupiter-Saturn conjunction in Aquarius on December 21st, which initiated a 20 and 200 year cycle emphasizing Aquarius and the air signs. Today's new moon not only sets the tone for the month ahead, but for many years to come. So embrace the change that is coming. Bring it into your life in small increments. Experiment with the new. Do 1 or 2 things differently this month and see how it feels. This is the time to invent a new future for ourselves, our community, and our world. Good luck and blessings to all.
Yes, okay. So what I was going to show is that when the Hebrew month starts, it's actually with a new moon, and it doesn't start with the first of every month, as you see. If you take in January, first it's actually in the middle of January that Shvat starts, and then it ends in the middle of February. So it's also true with the zodiac signs, like we can see here. If we go to Shvat, then we have Aquarius, and then the next month we have Adar, which is the joyous month to come, and that's starting also in the middle of the month. And here is a nice diagram of all the good healthy food we can have, because Shvat is about really nurturing our body. So when we meditate and do these events, we're going to also focus on how we can nurture the physical being. So for Shvat, we're going to have a lot of figs, if you can find figs. And there's a wonderful thing in the Hebrew month, it's called Tu B'Shvat, when you come together and it's like a Passover Seder and you're celebrating the fruits and you bless each fruit, and then especially the 7 fruits of the Holy Land. And this now?
Yes.
You do. Okay. Here's another evidence, a Kabbalistic diagram of the different planets. You can see Shabtai Tzedek, it's written in Hebrew. So the planets are in the inner circle, and outside is the actual months of the zodiac. So it's also another mosaic. So it's very interesting to note the history. And then I wanted to show you another beautiful diagram of the Hebrew months and the trees. So you see, Shvat is this month is the almond blossoms, as we all feel that happens in these days. Usually in Sweden too, you can see it in February. And every month has a designated wheat or grain. So we will work with that as well on top of the tulip healing work. So those were the 2 things. And then I wanted to share with you what we'll do every month. And there will be exercises sent also. So with Shvat, we have, I'm going to show you, the actual different phases of the bulb. See, what we want to create is a collaboration and weaving into the solar system together with the tulip bulbs, God willing. And so I'm going to scroll down here. So we did the healing aspects of Shvat, and then the main aspect of this air element is to let things lift up for the whole year, okay? And then we're going to, I guess you see everybody, my table here, right? Is that correct? Can you see it? Yes? Okay. Okay, thank you. And then we have the different bulb faces too, and the tulips are going to be adjacent to these different moon, month, and constellations. What's really amazing is that the tribes of Shvat that we're talking about, the 12 tribes, is also the 12 zodiacs. And in a way, any tribe is like a constellation. It's a family, sisters and brothers. And like the trees, it is creating connection. And this is what we need to do. And we really need to hold hands during this year. It's going to be pretty up and down. And so we're going to also go with the phases of the bulb planting. So next month is still a planting phase. I mean, we're in the earth, the bulbs, but we will start to see the light. So there's a sudden shift for the better. And also it's Purim, where Esther had the miracle. And there's a lot of parallels we will work with, and we'll bring in more laughter and joy. And the main energy of the month is willpower. And then we come to the faith, having a faith phase. Now, when a tulip bulb is in the earth, it doesn't know it's going to see the sun, right? It sort of knows. It knows because it's intelligence, Mother Earth giving life to the seed and the bulb. But one could also get a little discouraged, but that's usually the spring when it blooms and blossoms. So that is the faith and redemption part. So there's also parallels with the tulips, not just the zodiac. And then in Iyar, which is the Taurus, the month of May, we have a lot of blooming and manifesting. It's time to bring the power and positive thoughts and connect to Earth. And that's also in terms of the Israel and Hebrew calendars, a lot of Independence Day, a lot of things manifesting on the land. It'd be interesting to look at other traditions, which I will do too. And then we have Gemini. It's very, very important time because the Mercury is part of that communication and sharing. The bees and the pollens are now coming out. It's a time for creating the summer. And then we have the Cancer, Tammuz. It's a very hard month for the past Jewish history, plus Av, which is next one, which is in the Leo. These are hard months in the Middle East usually, but it's also a place of introspecting and also joy. So we will work a lot with the regal self, with the Queen and Kings, because it's also the Sun and the Leo and purification of oneself. And then we have, at the end of the month, we have Virgo constellation. It's a time before Yom Kippur and the New Year, when we're doing a lot of inner work of forgiving ourselves. And they say that the divine source, or Hashem, is closer to us, coming down to the field. So a lot of people are meditating outside. It's a time to blossom together and celebrate. And then the 7th month of Libra is where we start to look at our aspects and our deeds. And it's also interesting that it's the scale. And we have Yom Kippur. So there is a lot of parallels. And that's where we to start to forgive others. And many more things that will come up that I'm just touching lightly. And then we have Scorpio, which is also a month of no holidays in the Hebrew calendar or Jewish tradition. It's a time where if you're from Sweden, you don't like October, November. Everybody hates it because it's getting dark and the sun is going away. And it's very healing for the unconscious and letting go. We will also work on the physical part, like for example, this is a smell, but has to do with the smell. The month before, I forgot to mention, is listening and seeing. So we'll also do meditation on those physical parts. And then we come to Sagittarius, and that's when we're in the darkest time. We're waiting for the winter solstice and Hanukkah, so there's a light at the end of the tunnel. But it's also about having faith. And then the last month is the 10th month, because we're now in the 11th. We will work on Tevet, which is Capricorn. It's a bit of a, so we say, not dark, but challenging place, and also dealing with our more negative aspects. But then we're coming back again to Shvat, which we're just starting. We're seeking again health and letting go of that dark time and starting a new bulb phase. And at that point, we're already finished the series. But there is a cycle, and hopefully we will be able to find a growth and seeds growing from this journey together. And if anybody has any questions, it'll be great to hear you, or any sharings. I'm going to open up the gallery. How do I get out of share view? And how do I get out? Oh, stop here. Okay, now I'm less technical today. Okay, thank you for listening. And if any questions about this journey together, I'm here to answer. And wow, they're just really coming from my wish to create these workshops online, because we should do these new moon events physically, and it's very hard not to be able to do them. And to do this in this little computer box is no fun, but I don't foresee us being able to meet so much formally. So that's why I'm doing this. And hopefully we will be
it's important not to lose, it's good not to lose sight of after we acknowledge the sadness of not being together, to hug, but to acknowledge the profound interconnectedness of the world with representation that you have here from around the world, people who we would the chances of us all being in one room together are incomprehensibly impossible. So I always hold the light and the gain and the loss together. My Rebbe had called it the collateral blessings, because there's nothing, about pandemic that you can say, oh, it's a blessing. But to say, well, a collateral blessing lets us acknowledge without giving COVID to COVID. But Ken, I don't know if this is the platform. The first time I ever saw this Tulip Love was in my email from Gita. Is it appropriate for you to share what that is and means?
Sure. I should have started it, but I was going to send you the website. So I was living in California, and I studied psychology and drama therapy for years. And I had this thing that came like a channeling that I needed to get a group of people. I just felt like we need to find that inner delicate part in ourselves. It's like an inner child work, but it became more of a tender blossom aspect. And I have been doing a lot of drawings. If you go into Tulip Love, actually I wrote it wrong, tuliplove.com, you'll see the artwork. I started drawing, and then I said, let's get together and hold this tender part in each of us. And then I start to feel the tulip. And the tulip is not any kind of regular flower, because it has a perfect shape cup. And it's almost the only flower that has an empty space in it. It's like a golden grail. That's in the history of Christianity too. They talk a lot about how they were running to find this holy grail. What?
The letter Tet.
Oh yes, exactly. Tet. So it's clicky ball. It's about how do we receive the love and light from above, and why were people so enamored by this form? Because the tulip really has a place of receiving, and this is what we do in the meditation. And the other aspect of the tulip love thing is not just the tenderness, but the regalness, because it's the only flower that stands straight up, and it doesn't have an ego. It's just like, I'm beautiful. It doesn't go like, oh, look at me, I'm so cool. It's like, I'm really beautiful. And we can learn that as people to say, you know what, I am a beautiful being, and I want to bloom and blossom. And that's why we do a lot of these things in the workshops. And to put it on a Zoom, it's going to be tidbits of it. But I think it's important in this 2021 to have a blooming process as we go through it. And another part of the Tulip Love is also is the community also, that we need to bloom together and support each other. And you can go into the tuliplove.com, and you also can see on the homepage if you wanted to register. And Chaim, maybe you want to share a little bit how it was for you in a workshop, because you're the only one who's been in a Tulip Love workshop. And also a place to ground ourselves in these very intense times. Another thing.
1 minute, and in 2 minutes I can share.
Okay. So another thing about also tulip events is that doing his is that when we come from that place of combining the tender place in us and the regal place in us, we actually have strength to go through the world, because we're just not, grown-ups all the time. We have this inner child knocking at the door all the time. Okay, so any other questions until Chaim comes back? You can see also images in the Tulip Love workshop website, how I'm depicting the people sitting on thrones or blooming together. Okay, I'm going to ask to unmute him. How do I mute him? Ask to unmute. Okay.
Oh, I think it's the mute.
Oh, they unmute themselves. Okay. Great. So, yeah. And thank you for coming from Florida. And we have...
The jet lag's just a terrible thing.
Hello?
Yes. Are you back, Chaim?
Yeah.
Thank you
So,
for being holy and doing a prayer.
thank
Sorry.
you for what?
Your holy soul who did a prayer while I asked you.
Yeah. It's the new moon right now.
Yeah.
And the new moon is really, really grading. So, let's just go back to, the history of the world, and a lot of the early civilizations in the world happened in the area of what is today modern day Iran, Iraq, was then known as Persia, what was then known as the area between Hodu and Kush, between India and Africa. And during the time of Queen Esther, during the time of King Ahasuerus, during the time of even Hammurabi, tulips were always associated by the people who lived in that area as something being perfect and some type of real perfect love, perfect connection, perfect sharing. And I was, first introduced over 18 years ago to the tulip meditation. And when I first met Eva and first participated in this meditation, I felt like there was something very deep inside me, like a very delicate, a very special flower. And it exists not only inside of me, but in everyone who's around me. We met together in a gathering called a sulcha, where everybody was reconciling with one another. And all of a sudden, we realized that people who were supposed to be enemies because of their different faith communities, because of different political and national affiliations, all of a sudden, all of us were like, childlike beauties. We were all our core beings. And instead of being ruled by other people or by people who were trying to tell us that we had to hate someone else because they were of a different religion, and we had to despise someone else because they were a different faith community, all of a sudden we did not have to succumb to other rulers. We could be our own regal selves. We could be our own inner rulers. And not only for ourselves, but also to spread this light, to spread this tulip love in our communities and where we live. And I felt like through Eva, a lot of people who really want to were striving to connect with their hidden power instead of always trying to connect with those objects of power. There was a president that was mentioned earlier by Gita, etc. But people have, instead of opening up and trying to helping other people to blossom, why don't we ourselves blossom together? Why don't we ourselves bloom together? And through the Tulip Love meditation and through becoming our regal selves, I felt that we had a chance to really hug what is sacred within us, what is kadosh within us, what is holy within us, and we were able to connect to what we were before we were indoctrinated to regurgitate hatred, regurgitate affiliation to politics, or affiliation to a certain type of religious mode, or a certain type of a national mode, or a certain type of a hate theory, or some type of a class or a tribe. But basically, we could connect to ourselves as children, that we were coming and to be able to blossom and to be able to bloom. And I felt that through the Tulip meditation and the amazing end of the meditation where we do this crowning, where we become regal, I felt that we were able to express, and I was able to express just my uniqueness, my regalness, my tulipness. And through going through scores of meditation over the past almost 2 decades, I felt like I'm now not only into a creative consciousness or a new age consciousness, but I'm in a real tulip consciousness. And I know that it'd be amazing if you guys could share it and become part of it, because you learn a lot of insights. You'll no longer feel estranged. Your stress levels will go down tremendously. You'll connect with an amazing community of people, and you'll become just a lot more balanced. And you'll learn how to integrate tulips with the tree of life. So I just really bless all of you that you take part in this amazing monthly workshop. And you can learn basically how to grow, how to develop consciousness within the group, how to learn to support one another, how to just basically develop your tulip consciousness so that you can be part of an amazing community, and that you can revere and respect and honor where you came from, your inner childness, your family, your country, nationality, but realize that it's all integrated. Your past, your future, your present, you are all one. And you're all just an amazing tulip. And I just bless you to become part of this tulip consciousness, and to just basically to become regal, to validate yourselves, to validate your inner beauty. Okay.
Appreciate it, Chaim. And next time we maybe see your face. And thank you, everybody. Oh, here you are. we can't see you. You're French. You're in France. Okay. Shalom.
Nice hat.
Hi.
We have a voice, so there must be a mouth. There's a house with a light on, then there must be a creator.
Yeah, well, it's really nice. So,
everyone, I need to sign out.
yes,
Thank you
very much, Kim, for coming, and blessings to you all. And take good care. And if you want more information, you can call. And Rachel, our harpist, is here, and Amrita, and so Mitzvah. How are you all?
Hi.
Thank you for joining, and I'm gonna stop the recording, but I'd love to hear how you're doing.